Every snap is an interview.
After the Snap.
What a snap.
Hey, keep your mouth shut, 50!
I lead by example.
With Blake and Reed Ferguson, discussing life in, out, and after football.
To be able to leave walking away with a degree and a championship, it couldn't be any better.
Yeah!
Well, you can take this boy out the real South on but you can't take the real South out of my voice. And now here we go again, twist a little bit deeper because I got big.
We want to welcome in Eagles long snapper and Super Bowl 52 champion Rick Lovato to the podcast this week. Rick, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your schedule to join us this week. We're so excited to have you on.
Hey, wouldn't want anything else to do right now than be with the Ferguson brothers here on After the Snap Pod. So let's get this thing started, boys.
Hey, we here on After the Snap are big food people. And I assume as a long snapper that you subscribe to that same line of thinking as well. Did you grab a Philly cheesesteak before you left Philly to go out to Arizona?
If you say after the NFC Championship game, did I grab a?
Okay.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
Then that
Okay.
answer is yes.
Yes.
Is that your go-to, like, post-game, like, when you get a big win, you go get a Philly cheesesteak?
Get a win. We go to Chickies and Pete's, what we call it, and we have our own room in the back for the players,
man.
and I get a cheesesteak every single time. It's just Philly cheesesteaks. You know, you can't have them all the time, but after a win, it feels way better.
That's a
That
greasy
sounds like,
meal.
That
Very
sounds like
greasy.
wings and pizza in Buffalo.
So
we're obviously
I'm kinda jealous
known
'cause
for
wings
it.
are my favorite food of all time. So
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whoever doesn't eat it with blue cheese, I have a thing against you as well. So,
so you're not your ranch?
no. I'm
No, he's saying
you don't eat it with blue cheese.
Oh, you are blue cheese. Okay.
Oh, big time.
Okay.
You
You can have a vendetta against me because I haven't eaten blue cheese my whole life.
Oh my God.
People definitely. I can't confirm they look at you funny when you ask for ranch instead of blue cheese, and especially at the mom and pop restaurants.
In Buffalo, I couldn't even imagine. I'm shocked that they don't kick you out. So.
Yeah. So are you peppers and onions?
Peppers and onions
on the Philly cheesesteak. Okay,
hot
so
peppers and
classic.
onions, and I like actually American cheese. I'm not a whiz guy. I'm American cheese, melted American cheese
whiz.
on my cheesesteak.
And that's Chickies and Pete's.
Chickies and Pete's is just like a restaurant. They have everything, but my go-to is Angelo's Pizzeria, which surprisingly in Philly has the best cheesesteak that, in my opinion. So
Okay, wow. I'm trying to remember the place, and I know we want to get into more stuff, but we took a family road trip all the way up the East Coast, like to Boston, New York. We stopped in Philly for a little bit.
Nice.
And
It's right after the Phillies won in 08, I think.
That's right.
Oh wow!
We stopped in a restaurant. I want to say it was like on the corner of a street. Had a bunch of pictures inside.
Old pictures.
A bunch of old pictures.
Yeah.
It was just a line when you get in. Not a huge place. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, that is Jim's. That's my second favorite place.
Jim's. Okay,
Jim's on South Street is the
Yep.
second best cheesesteak in my opinion.
That's definitely it. Okay, so
Yeah,
Angelo's
you
is
see
number one.
them cooking it in the window when you walk up. Huge line every single day. Yep.
Love that.
They're like basically yelling at you as you walk in. They're like, "What do you want?
Oh yeah, you
Why
better
are
know what
you
you're
here?"
ordering as soon as you get in there. If you don't know what you're ordering, then you're gonna get booted out of
Why
there.
is there a menu? Just give me what you want me to have.
Okay, so getting into a little bit of football stuff. You're obviously now with Philadelphia. You've been with them for a handful of years now. Obviously, we mentioned one Super Bowl 52 5 years ago with Philly over the New England Patriots. Before you landed in Philly, you bounced around to a couple teams, a couple short stints, Green Bay, Washington, and I want to say I can't remember.
Chicago's where I started.
Chicago's the first one. That's right.
Yeah, undrafted.
So as a snapper, what was your mentality like when you kind of got those short, brief stints? You know, whether it was for an injury or late season, just filling in for a week or so before you landed in Philly. When you were going through those short stints, what was your mentality like just waiting on that opportunity to come?
Yeah, it was tough. I was just working out at a gym at home, waiting for a phone call. As a free agent long snapper, when you get cut for the first time, it kind of feels like your career is over. But once I got that call by Green Bay just for a workout, I knew I had to take full advantage of that opportunity. And I went there as prepared as possible, thinking I was just going to sign a futures deal. And 3 days after I had that workout, their snapper tore their ACL, and I was in there. So it was just unbelievable how that timing worked out. And even after that, I got cut by them, and then had to wait 10 weeks for a phone call by Washington in 2016. It's just unbelievable how you can go in and out of this league, and you have to still have that same mindset and that same attitude towards being perfect every single time, even though you haven't had a single rep since training camp or the last time you had an opportunity. So that was tough mentally for just being that guy, the journeyman guy, jumping around on each team, getting cut, knowing you're only going to be there for a couple of weeks if the guy's hurt. But it wasn't until 2017 where I finally earned that spot in Philly during training camp. So.
Yeah, that's I want to hit on that next. You're obviously you signed to Philly at the end of the 16 season. And then won the job in 17 after John Dornbos. For those who don't know, he was on America's Got Talent, I believe.
Correct.
Doing all his magician stuff. So when he got traded during training camp.
Yes. So he got hurt in 2016, hurt his wrist. Yep. I came in, filled in. We competed in 2017 training camp. I ended up winning the job, and then they traded him over to the Saints, and that's when he went through his whole physical, found out his heart condition, and he could have literally died playing football if he hadn't done anything right then and there. So he ended up getting surgery, I think maybe a few days after they found that out, which is absolutely bizarre.
What was that like, finding out, number one, finding out that he had been traded, and then number two, finding out all the, kind of backstory of everything that happened after he went to New Orleans?
After he got traded, I was, I felt like I had a great training camp. So I was super excited. I thought, I was the guy. I was going in to go play a full season for the very first time. And then when I found out his news, I just felt like everything happens for a reason. By the blessing of God, he found out that happened a week after he got traded. And you never know what could have happened if it went undiagnosed and he had stayed in Philly and I got traded, because they wanted one of us, the Saints, and they felt strongly enough to keep me in Philly and trade John to the Saints. So, the way God works is just unbelievable. And that was very fortunate for, the both of us. I won a job for the first time, and that saved his life. So it was unbelievable.
Yeah, no question.
When John hurt his wrist in 16, I was in Buffalo on the practice squad. So I was keeping close tabs on what they were going to do. Obviously signing you. I don't think nothing ever happened, but that was when you talk about timing for an opportunity, getting a chance. Everybody's watching. Unfortunately, when injuries happen, everybody looks at, it doesn't matter what team it is. You're looking for an opportunity.
Perk up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
No doubt. I got text messages right after he got hurt, because I had just been with Washington 2 weeks before that, and then he got hurt against Washington. And I think, it's interesting to see a lot of guys who float around in the same division, like the AFC East,
sure.
That kind of happens a lot, even at other positions. But yeah, it's crazy. And it's crazy that you guys both end up on the AFC East as brothers. So I still think that's just
we've had so many people mention like the Kelsey brothers and how they're playing in the Super Bowl, and everybody's like, oh man, I wish, you guys could have that opportunity. And Reed and I are both like, nope, we're good playing each other twice a year. Like we'll battle it out in the wild card or the
playoffs. That's right.
Potentially the AFC Championship at some point. But yeah, it's been a pretty crazy journey for us to both end up in the same division, much less the same league, much less the same division. But you being the first. Fact checkers can being you fact checker, you can tell us otherwise, but you're the first Old Dominion player to play a snap in the NFL. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we started up our program in 2009. We played our first games. I got there in 2011. And there was a couple guys who had made practice squad before then, but never had played a snap in a regular season game. So I was the first one stepping out in the field against my roommate, Taylor Heineke. He was my roommate all 4 years of college. And he was the third string guy with the Vikings. I played him in my second game as a
that's really cool
Packer. Yeah, very, very, very neat.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to you to be able to represent such a historic university on a national scale, playing now in your second Super Bowl? Like that's got to be huge for not only you but also for the university that you represent.
Oh, absolutely. It was crazy being the first guy in a Super Bowl, the first go around. And now there's three of us. One guy I played with who is now a player personnel guy for us. He graduated 2 years before me. He was an offensive lineman. And then a guy who came in a year after me and redshirted, Zach Pascal. He's also on the team now. So just to see ODU and their players actually evolve and blow up in this league is just so surprising because, again, we started this program in 2009. So really no one knew who we were, what our identity was, and until, these guys started making it into the NFL. And now you got Taylor Heineke, who had a great year this year and last year, and it's just, guys are flourishing there, and we love to see that.
Yeah, I think it's cool not only to see on the football side of things, but also Justin Verlander, Kent Bazemore, like really cool because it's not a huge athletic school, but there's big names and cool representation around sports. Us, Reed and I, obviously being from Atlanta, we were big Kent Bazemore fans when he was like throwing it off the backboard and just jamming it back in, I guess, what was that, 2015-ish, Reed?
Probably, yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, when I was being recruited to ODU, he was the first jersey I had to get. My first jersey was getting a Kent Bazemore ODU jersey when I was there. I think that was the last time I think they went to the NCAA tournament too, and they almost beat Butler that year, who ended up, I think, winning it all or made it to the finals.
I think they lost in the final, yeah.
Layup. But crazy how he was there. It took me a while to even realize that Verlander was there until I got to ODU and saw his name. I'm like, Justin Verlander. And then his brother Ben, who does a lot of stuff with the MLB now, he was I think a year or so younger than me, so he's been around. I've been in touch with him.
That's awesome.
Just really cool, man. It's really cool to be a part of that university, which is a small group of people who have really flourished out of there, which is awesome because to represent Old Dominion that not many people know about is pretty cool.
Have you gotten to meet either of those guys, Verlander or Bazemore?
I met Ken a few times. He was still around, I think, when I was a freshman there. I definitely saw him out and about at campus and talked to him a couple times, but never Justin Verlander. I met his brother. I talked to his brother while he was there, but never saw Justin there. Obviously, he was deep into his MLB career at that time, and don't know if he came back to ODU all that often.
Gotcha.
Want to get into a little bit of the current stuff. Obviously, Super Bowl week coming up. You're getting ready to play Kansas City on Sunday for Super Bowl 57. What are a few things, if anything, what are some of the notable differences this time around than 5 years ago, kind of going through this Super Bowl week?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was a deer in headlights the last time, and everything was so brand new to me. It was my first full season in the NFL. I was with a bunch of fantastic veterans, and I'm still with a bunch of fantastic veterans now, but I feel like my eyes are just wide open to the experience now. Like media night was, such a blur back then compared to this time where I really got to enjoy it and see what was going on and see what's happening. Even with the last couple of days, we had a walkthrough today. It just feels like a normal game week now, with 6 years into this team. With the Eagles, it's crazy what 5 years can do and what another Super Bowl experience. You just got to treat it like a normal game, because if you don't do that, distractions will get to you. The game will get to you. You really got to laser focus on just playing another football game. So.
Yeah, that kind of plays into my next question, talking about some positive lessons that you may have learned from last time that are helping you maybe on the field or off the field this time around as a snapper. So, taking it one step at a time. You've been there, you've done that, treating it as a normal game. What are some of those other positive lessons, if any, that you're kind of looking at this time around, maybe position specific?
Yeah. So, I had a great mentor in Donnie Jones, who was a 15-year veteran. He had never made it that far in playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl.
LSU.
LSU, baby. I would just FaceTime him the other day, but he was such a great mentor, kept me calm the whole week. I remember the first time around, I felt like I was second guessing myself during practice. I had a couple bad snaps in the first week of the Super Bowl last time during practice, and Donnie got me through it. Donnie helped me get through every step of the way. I felt nervous. I was my first full season going into a Super Bowl, which was obviously the pinnacle of NFL games. And then, this time around, I feel like I'm the older veteran guy. I can go out and do my thing, trust my muscle memory. And not only that, help the young guys, be in Donnie Jones' shoes and help the young guys, stay calm throughout everything, help this special teams unit any way I can. And truly, again, treat it like it's any other game, and, trust myself, trust my snaps, and go do that out on Sunday.
Love that.
Man.
Donnie's a great dude.
You've had a great year. So congratulations to you, man. Just like it feels like we were just in Miami and you guys were practicing on our field while the entire team had the stomach bug.
Oh man, that was crazy.
That was wild. Anyway, it seems like you guys have had a great group there in Philly throughout the course of the season. What's it been like adding Brett Kern to your room, sort of the back end of this season? Obviously veteran, been around the block quite a while. What's it been like adding him to the room?
Yeah, I think it's like adding another Donnie Jones to the group, like a guy who knows the league. Even though this is his first Super Bowl, he's experienced, a few AFC championship games with the Titans. And he's just a really chill, laid back guy who's easy to talk to, easy to get chemistry with, because obviously you guys know having chemistry with your punter and your holder is huge. So I've been spending a lot of time with him. And, he's been great. He's been great in supporting me whenever I need anything. He's the guy to go to, especially for snapping. But yeah, man, he just tells me to trust myself and go out there and do the things that Donnie told me to do. Because again, when you've been around the block in this league, no matter, you've been to a Super Bowl or not, the game, what you need to do to be successful. So it's been great. Obviously it's crazy having a guy come in week 14, having to snap to someone brand new that you've never snapped before to, and you've had a groove with someone going now for 2 years in my holder, Aaron Sipos. So it's tough to get used to someone else, but when they make it easy in that outside of the field, outside of the locker room, it's great. It's great to have a guy like Brett Kern.
Yeah, that's huge. Obviously you guys are out in Arizona right now. We are recording this on Wednesday for release on Friday, a couple days before the big game. What was media day like? I know before this, we were kind of chatting off air about not only do you have like the big media night on night one, but you guys also have like media availability all week throughout the course of the week. Any good questions, any good interactions? What's that been like?
Yeah, so the media night is just completely different than any media requirements we have during the week. Media night, I feel like they just let anyone walk through that door. There was a guy with a bourbon barrel with straps over him and had no other clothes on besides that, going around interviewing people. The amount
sounds like a guy Blake would like to be interviewed by.
I was gonna say, can I get his YouTube channel?
So yeah, you just have some really strange characters walking around, but it was pretty cool. I met Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley, I'm a big UFC fan. Justin Thomas was there, a few other people that I didn't see, but again, this time around, eyes were wide open, so I was expecting all the unexpected. And then, I got a few questions about long snapping, and I had a really weird segment that I did with some people down in Texas. They asked me some snapping questions, but they were talking in really weird voices this whole time. Very strange. And then I had guys on their phones looking up who I am and the amount of times I had to tell people, like, how's your first time?
No way.
I'm like, this is my second time here, but I mean,
a
no
Super
one knows
Bowl
who I am
veteran.
anyway. But hey, the first time around, the first media night I had to make a sub because I used to work in a sub shop in deli and pizza shop for my dad and my uncle, and I made a sub and had to snap it to Donnie Jones the first
No
time.
way.
Yes, it was.
They
I can't
brought
believe
you
I've
like,
never seen a video of that.
cold cuts.
There's a video out there. I think you can find it on YouTube. But
we're gonna have to repost that on the pod
you
page.
got to
for
find that if
sure.
you post it on Friday.
Yes.
For sure. But it is bizarre. The people that are out there, and again, they just let anyone walk through that door. So I was, made my rounds, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go downstairs now and call it a night. But yeah, again, something you have to be expecting when you're going there.
Is there like a certain amount of time that you have to be in there, or
yeah, I think it's around like 35 minutes or something like that. And they blow the horn. We were thankfully the first team to go. Last time we were the second team to go and had to sit around for a while before we even went out there. But yeah, we were out there, and again, these guys try to bait you too. They want you to talk as much smack as you can about your own team, just to have something to post on their social media.
It's their last chance to get something, right?
Exactly. The amount of people who had some weird questions. There was some conspiracy theorists like with, I think, our O-lineman Landon Dickerson said, do you think Lee Harvey Oswald worked alone in the killing of Abraham Lincoln or something like that? These people ask crazy questions.
Wow.
So you literally have to be so mentally prepared going into that to just kind of just avoid anything that is going to make.
Sounds like
bad.
NFL Combine, like GMs would ask you like these random questions about some sort of ex-girlfriend that you had, or
yes. Oh, that's been asked as well. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
What are some of the other Super Bowl week events? I know you guys said yesterday on Tuesday was kind of a lay low day. Do you guys do anything else that maybe most people aren't aware of or they don't know about? I know one
Waste
thing
Management Open.
Yeah,
I wanted to go to a practice round, but we just don't have the time today.
Yeah,
I saw that. I assumed that was why Justin Thomas was around.
Yeah, he's there for the week, I guess. But we had our team picture last night. We had a team meeting, last few nights. Today we had a walkthrough, and we just had media obligations just now. Meetings are done for the night now. So yeah,
I guess I'd think of like bowl when we went to bowl games in college and stuff. We would do like like hospital visits and stuff. Is there any kind of that stuff that goes on, or are you guys pretty much
we're pretty much locked in on here?
Stuff?
Yeah, the media is the most things we have. I mean, when I'm telling you this place is locked down like Fort Knox, you can't get anywhere without a pass. And there are 3 checkpoints. So if you Uber out of here to go to dinner or anything, there are 3 checkpoints you got to go through just to get to the lobby. And it is crazy. The amount of police officers and SWAT teams that are surrounding our building is
wow.
Crazy. So there's not too much time.
There's the answer I was looking for. SWAT team at the hotel. I don't know how many people would know that. I certainly didn't.
They're out there trying to make sure the Barstool guys aren't running around your lobby.
That's right. They don't want, they don't want to be attacking Roger Goodell the whole
Bourbon
time.
barrel, fine. PFT commenter, not allowed.
So the first couple of nights, have been, pretty lay low. Not too, like you said, nothing crazy. We're not going out doing anything. Unfortunately, it'd be nice to go visit some children's hospitals and all that kind of stuff. But they have us pretty locked down. And now that it's Wednesday, we're kind of into our normal work week. As usual, practice, meetings, and then hoping that Sunday comes quicker because this week is long, man. I feel like I've been here for 2 weeks now. It's only been 3 days. So.
Well, we got one more real question for you, and then we'll get into a couple of short snaps, some fun, just get to know Rick Lovato questions at the end here, and we'll let you get back and get refocused on Sunday. But we saw that autism awareness is something that is super important to you. You've represented them for multiple years with your My Cause, My Cleats charity. Why does that hit home for you? Why is that special for Rick Lovato?
Yeah, so I've always done Eagles Autism to support our owner, Jeffrey Lurie. His brother, I believe, has autism. And the amount of times we've done autism events to work with kids with sensory awareness things, and the amount of weekly things we do with autism, it's really made an impact on me and what I've done on the football field, and the amount of times I've interacted with people with autism. So it's really hit home for me, just working with those kids, and it's special. It's special to be able to do that for someone who's just. There's sensory areas in our stadium, which is fantastic. Not a lot of
cool.
A lot of leagues have that, or a lot of stadiums have that. So to be able to show that support for them and for our owner, it's fantastic. So
that's awesome. Very cool. All right. So as Blake mentioned, something we like to do with all the guests we bring on is short snaps, just to finish off, a couple quick hitters. All right. Favorite away stadium?
Gosh, I'm gonna have to go with Lambeau just because of the history there and playing there. I'd have to say Lambeau, but definitely not in December or January.
Okay, so what about least favorite?
Least favorite. Oh man, the least favorite is going to have to be. I think it's MetLife. I don't like playing at
there
MetLife
either. No.
Yeah,
I don't like playing.
I still don't understand why there's a turf field there, or it's not a dome. Like, just either make it a dome or put some grass down. So,
what's on your pregame playlist?
Pregame playlist. I don't really listen to too much music before I go out. I watch some TikToks, and I watch some YouTube videos on relaxing, calming, and self-awareness things to help me calm down before the game. I'm very mentally relaxed before a football
Who's
game.
Who's your favorite follow on TikTok?
My favorite follow on TikTok is either Theo Vaughn, because he's just unbelievably hilarious.
Baton Rouge's finest.
Baton Rouge's finest.
Repping the Tigers.
Gosh, there's so many. Bert Kreischer. I love a lot of comedy guys on TikTok.
Tom
Segura, of course.
There we go.
Segura's great.
If you guys can get on their podcast,
yes,
that'd be cool.
That would be peak. That would be peak.
We might get Reed mistaken for Tom Segura.
Hey, Tom lost a lot of weight. I think we could probably pass for it now.
Get a little gray going in your beard.
A little gray in the beard. That's right.
I appreciate that. I wish I had his sense of humor. What's your go-to halftime snack?
My go-to halftime snack is I don't eat. It used to be oranges. I used to have an orange every halftime. This year, it's been carbohydrate powder. I've just been putting carbohydrate powder in.
That's exactly what I do. Yeah.
And I don't like to eat anything. And I've been doing Invisalign this year, so I can't have as many snacks. But I like it as a mouthpiece during games. So I mean, that's
oranges are risky because those will get sticky in a heartbeat. And
absolutely.
Snappers, we got to guys will come up to me on the sideline, and I'm like, no, I'm not high fiving you. I'm fist bumping 100% because I can't get anything on my hands. So
that's right.
Are we talking like the cut up orange slices? Or are we talking like where you like peel it off, or peeling a whole orange?
It used to be just cut up orange slices, and I just eat it whole, and I immediately go and wash my hands to make sure my hands were completely dry, and no one touches, like you said, no one touches my hands after that, going back out. So.
Straight to the towel.
So playing on the halftime snack question, what is your if you're making a peanut butter and jelly for yourself, what is your optimal PB&J ratio?
Oh, optimal PB&J. Well, you have to have more peanut butter than jelly, and I'm a strawberry jelly kind of guy. So I go one side gets a nice thicker layer of peanut butter, and then the other side, gets a lighter. But I like a little sweetness, so you got to have some sort of ratio there. But
60-40 PB.
60-40 PB, and I'm a chunky peanut butter kind of guy. I like chunky peanut butter.
Yeah,
nice.
Love that. Okay, and then to last one, if you had to pick your all-time specialist room, who would you put in there?
Oh, am I included in this or just adding?
You can be.
You can
You
be.
can be.
Oh no, I just wasn't sure.
This is like all time kicker, punter, snapper.
Okay. My snapper is going to have to be John Kondo. I looked up to him a lot growing up. I like John Kondo coming out. My kicker is going to have to be, gosh, I mean, you have to go with the GOAT Vinatieri, you know. And then my punter is going to have to be Donnie Bagabones Jones. So
I'll never forget when he.
right?
I was watching. I don't remember. It might have been. I don't know. I don't think it was in the Super Bowl. When did he leave his sweatpants on?
Okay, so that was funny.
Was that in the NFC Championship?
That was in the last game of the season there. We had already clinched the first seed and everything. We played Dallas and we hit like 8 punts and they were rushing 8 box hard the entire day. It was 5 degrees outside. That's why Donnie was wearing pants. I'm in the huddle. Donnie runs out. We're about to go to the line. I see Donnie and I'm like, Donnie, your pants. And he looks down. He's scrambling to take his pants off, like I see in the video, and he throws them off to the side. I don't even remember where the punt went or what happened. I think it was a +50 punt at the time, but
that's amazing.
It was just incredible.
I'll never forget that because I'll never forget watching that because I just thought it was hilarious.
The things that specialists do to stay warm on the sideline.
I know.
That's right. And it's Sam McKern does the same thing as Donnie. That's why
Morstead does the same as well.
Sam did this year. He was the only guy I think I've ever had that.
Okay, question.
It's all the vet guys. It's all
question because Rick, you're in a cold city. Reed is not a coat guy on the sideline.
Really?
When it's cold. He is not a coat guy. Twice in your career?
Twice. I've only worn it twice.
No, in 2017, and then this year in Chicago.
No, I didn't even wear it in the snow. I wore it in the playoff game last year when we played New England in the first round. It was -8. So I was like, all right, I'll put a coat on.
That's the only time you ever wore a coat.
This year, that was the first time I've ever put a coat on, the big coat.
The big one that covers.
And then the second time was this season in Chicago on Christmas Eve. We played there, and it was -22 or something.
We played there
with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. Yes,
we played there the week before you guys. It was cold. It was like I think it was like -5, -2. But it was way colder the week after that.
Well, that was when the big winter storm came through the whole country.
Yes, the Arctic chill that just froze the entire country. Yeah, that's bizarre. But the fact that you don't do that, I mean, you guys have.
I don't know. It's a mental thing to me.
I guess
it's
your arms up in front of the heater.
Yeah, I stand around the heater. It kind of depends. But I'm big. Like I'll stick my hands in my muff all game long. But I don't. Even when it's raining, I don't wear the coat.
Okay, that's interesting. Are you a limited snaps guy before you go out? Like, do you count like how many?
When it's bad weather, yes. I snap more when the weather is better.
Okay.
Which, when I'm saying it out loud, might not make sense. But like when it's raining or it's cold, I won't snap as much.
You're focused
because I want to limit. I want to limit. Yeah, I want to limit like the amount of time that my hands are out
exposed. Yeah.
Because like those 2 games where I had to wear the jackets, I would wear. When you would take your hands out of your I mean, I don't know what the coldest game you've played in is, but when we were in Chicago, like you can't even have your hands out for longer than 10 or 15 seconds and it feels like your hands are going numb. So it's like I'm out there like there were a couple we punted maybe 3 or 4 times that game, and every time the ref put the ball down, he would tell me to grab it like immediately because the ball would start blowing away. And I'm like, what are we doing? And then, okay. So the last thing we had a punt, a +50 punt. I believe it was a +50 punt that game. And Sam kicked it and it kind of like it hit it like the 15, kind of rolled a little bit and it died around like the 11, but it never stopped. It like rolled sideways a little bit, and then the wind caught it, and it rolled forward to the 2-yard line. But the ref blew it dead at the 11 because it rolled sideways. Really? It never stopped moving.
That was the reasoning for
never stopped moving. Totally unreal.
That was one of the most bizarre plays. I think I think I was watching that because we played the next day. That was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. Because your
Our
guys were
guys,
losing
both
their
of our
minds.
gunners were like around
Dermot
it
was
on the
losing his
2-yard line.
mind.
Yeah.
Like
This was
everybody
the
was
Chicago
just
game or
yeah.
Chicago, we
Christmas
played in
issue.
Chicago.
That's crazy.
Couldn't
Yeah,
believe it, but
that's the least. I think that was probably my coldest game. Was the week before that. I mean, you guys had it way worse, and it was still bad the week before. That was the least I snapped on the sideline in any game in the history of. I was just more focused on staying warm until I.
staying warm.
Yeah, because
there's
during
there's a
pregame,
balance.
I mean, I hate going through field goal during pregame out in that situation because after the first one, I could not feel anything. So I'm like, this is just pointless. I'm not accomplishing anything right now by snapping a football. So, gosh, cold weather games are
True words have never been spoken.
Yeah.
Kickers take forever too.
And then when the last time we played you guys in Buffalo, it was 40, 50 mile per hour winds.
Yes.
That was
raining.
Crazy and raining at the beginning. Yes. That was crazy.
I remember that.
Gosh.
That's all I got. Blake, you got anything else?
No, sir. Rick, thank you for joining us. This has been a ton of fun.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good luck this weekend. Congratulations again, going to your second Super Bowl in, what is it, 6 years?
5 years.
5 years?
5 years to the day. Yep.
That is quite that is quite a ratio. So congratulations and good luck to you.
Thank you, fellas. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I had a great time.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Well, Blake, I don't know about you, Rick. Rick and I go way back, obviously back into the Rubio years. I think you have obviously crossed paths with him at a handful of camps. He's been a great guy, with for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Super excited for him to get his chance at his second Super Bowl on Sunday. So I'll be rooting for Philly. I don't know about you, but
yeah, for sure.
That was awesome. He did a great job.
Yeah, I always enjoy catching up with Rick. Obviously got to see him in the preseason this past year, and just such a stand up dude. Really pulling for those guys this weekend. So tune in to the Super Bowl if you didn't already know that it was happening. It's happening. So Sunday night we will be tuned in. We hope you will be as well. But for us, that's a wrap.
Before we go, one prediction. Let's get a prediction.
I'm gonna go. I can't do our guy Rick wrong.
Team and score.
Philly 31, Chiefs 27.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I'll go a little higher scoring because I think both offenses are really
higher
good.
Scoring than 31-27.
Well, I think when they beat the Patriots, they scored. It was like 41-38 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go 30. I'll go 37. 37. 31. Eagles. Yep.
Nice. All right.
We
will see. Let us know on socials what your prediction is for Sunday night. We will be looking back to see who gets those right, and we might have a little prize for you. Ooh. We shall see. Stay tuned. But for us, this has been After the Snap, tales from two brothers who live life upside down.